See, they call oatmeal face. Laying on the stomach, feet dangling, butt up, and arguing on Clubhouse. You know I was coming for you. Wack Run, honey. What's up, Jordales? Y'all already know the deal, man. Y'all tuned in to Great Street TV. And today we gonna react to Wack Run 100. You know what I mean? Laying flat on his stomach, feet dangling, butt up, and arguing on Clubhouse. Y'all already know the deal. She knew I was coming. So, you know, if you ain't hit that like or the subscribe button yet, that's what you need to be doing. But if not, y'all already know the deal with me, man. I'm gonna bust y'all across y'all head with some knowledge every time, man, straight up. And make sure y'all hit that bell for all notifications. So when I drop these reactions right here, they pop up on your timeline like the chicken pox. Boop, 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 boop. Y'all already know the deal with me, man. Listen, tap in. Now that I got y'all attention, we finna break this reaction down to the very last compound. And, you know, she already know I was coming for her. And the reason why I say she and who I'm talking about Wack Run 100. The new Wendy Williams of the internet. But we all know he was caught face down, AO up, arguing on the phone with a gang of men. And that's facts. But you know, before we get into that, we gonna listen to his paperwork party. He said he ain't never been in no cases. He's so busy tearing everybody else down. Now it seems like the shoe is on his foot now. He's getting torn out, and that's facts. So we gonna tap into this audio. Let's get it.
And I'm on paperwork.
Bro, am I lying? Put that on Pyro, you not.
Wax on paperwork.
Put that on Pyro, you not.
Put that on 6-0 wax on
paperwork. 6-0 nigga, you on paperwork. Put that on Pyro, you not.
Put that on.
Man, put that on Pyro that you not on that case.
Produce it.
Put that on Pyro that you not on that case.
You see when he put it on 6-0, he was gonna say it again. Wack Run 100 was like, put that on, and then he caught himself. It's like he's always lying, and he's trying to find a way to get around it. But tap in.
You know I'm the one got told on.
Put that on Pyro, we didn't make statements.
But once I get into this paperwork, you gonna understand that Wack was one of the names that the feds used for confidential source number 2. So the nigga, let me go back to the thing. So we finna get into the paperwork. So Tiny Draw said that the nigga name was Wack and that he was on paperwork. Well, the paperwork is a transcript of a wiretap, and it's from Deldorf from Main Street Mafia case, rest in peace. So we goes to the first page, and it has the session 18202. This is the wiretap, date and time 8/5/2008 through 9/22/38 to 9/29/39. Duration 7 hours 1 minute, or 7 minutes 1 second. Dale tells this is the feds breakdown. Dale.
You see how his background is coming up, and every time it comes to him, he tries to make a excuse or make it like switch it around like he was told on. You see how he was like, you know, I'm the one that got told on and all that. He always trying to switch it off on somebody else.
Tell Stevens that your boy Box, referring to Stutter Box, we can all agree to that, right? Went south. Wack wants Dale's phone number. Wack needs to talk to Dale. It's important. Wack, right? But it also says CS2. Wack CS2, for those who don't understand law, is code word for confidential source. Number 2. So, you get into Dale.
So let me break something down. It ain't about how you told. It's like if you told, you talk to those folks, and your name and statements pop up on a piece of paperwork. It's like you working. You're a confidential informant, and you inform the law about certain situations that you acknowledge through whatever they're investigating. And that's facts.
Talks about Box incident and Wack wanted to talk to Dale. Wack wanted to talk to Dale though. Mafia talk and someone talking too much. Box with a question mark. Sound like that, which is Wack, has info on Stutterbox and talking about phone lines being compromised. So Wack is wanting to talk to Dale Dog, so he goes through the Mafia's talk, who we gonna use as Mafia talk for this, not to involve nobody else, right? He tell Mafia talk, look, I need to talk to Dale Dog. That nigga Stutterbox went bad. Well, Wack knows Stutterbox because that's his neighbor. In fact, that's how Wack even know Dale Dog.
A straight snake. Like everybody that know Wack Run 100, he's always been a snake and try to manipulate people's minds, and he's paying people, to cheer him on. He got cheerleaders, and that's big facts. But let's get to a little bit more of this, and then we're going to get to face down, A-ho up. She knew we was coming.
So the only way you would know that the wires is tapped, and the only way that you would know that Stutterbox that went bad, nigga, is if you done went and talked to them people. Wack admitted that he did go talk to them people on the 64th floor. So
The nigga met with the police for no reason at all, told the police that I was transporting keys of cocaine for Suge Knight from Tijuana, Mexico, up to Seattle, Washington. They spent down there $400,000 tracking devices, following me around for 6-7 months, wiretaps, all kind of shit. Raided my motherfucking crib, didn't find nothing, cut my wife up. Searching, going through everything, they found nothing. When I went down to the federal building with my attorney to get my shit they took out of my office, every bitch was on that floor with FBI flak jackets on. That's the first thing I saw. I'm like, damn.
it goes into saying Box punked the game. 2 messages on Mark's phone. Mark is involved on the game business and operation Duke. Wack is calling on another line to Mark.
Okay, enough of that. We all know, he always trying to put everybody else on blast and tear them down. Basically tearing down the culture. So, this is a time when he should be attacking himself and tearing himself down. Like, he got paperwork popping up that he's been in cases and he made statements and, he bust the wrong moves a lot. Just like he always busts the wrong moves on the internet by opening his mouth. And I always looked at him as a confidential informant. Because every time he talks about stories and things that happen, he throws names out there. He sits on Clubhouse. The new Wendy Williams. And that's facts. So let's get to the fact that he was exposed for laying, flat on his belly, feet dangling, A-ho up, arguing on the phone, on Clubhouse, with a group of men. Me, I wouldn't put it past him. Like, he looks like one of those punks that be in prison. In his cell, he got a locker full of honey buns for doing favors to the yard. And that's facts. No, but on some G shit, that's real suspect. Like, I find that real suspect for you be laying butthole naked, laying on Clubhouse. Like, people, you'll never know what's going on the other end of the phone or the other end of somebody's situation. Like, as you see, he like dedicated his whole life to, explaining himself out of all those lies. You say, you tell one lie, you gotta tell a million more behind it. So he's constantly on the phone or on the internet defending what he done said about somebody or what he done said. Like, he doesn't have time to even get dressed. Just look at the situation. Like, and people really jumping on Clubhouse to really hear him talk. And you know, they laying there smoking their blunts, drinking on their drink. And this man is laying there a-hole naked. Facts. So, at the end of the day, you got to kind of look at the people that, you know, that he attract, that sit there with him while he doing that type of fruitcake stuff. And that's facts. We gonna rewind back time a little bit. You know, we gonna talk about how he was trying to expose 40 Glock and call 40 Glock a snitch for doing a lawsuit against the gang. And now he's talking about defending himself by doing a lawsuit for him, you know, getting exposed, laying face down, a-hole up. You know, that's the way he like to talk while he on Clubhouse, I guess. But it's crazy how he attacks certain people for certain situations. And now he's put up in a situation where he feels like he has to sue somebody, or that's the route he has to go to bring that person down, when he be on the internet all day exposing people and, you know, tearing people down and putting poison into the culture. So once upon a time, it came out his own mouth to where he didn't approve of somebody doing a civil lawsuit. Basically, if you're involved in the culture, like street culture, gang culture, and you know, he's taking the same route that he said he didn't approve of. And you know, he said people don't be having the facts or the receipts. But you know, check this clip out.
I'll tell you one thing about this room: we don't support lies, rumors, and gossip. We always come with the receipts. So if you check the Summer Jam screen at the top, that's what we like to call it in here, you know what I mean? The Summer Jam screen. If you go ahead and check that out, you know what I mean, Mika got the receipts right there, you know what I mean? I personally, you know what I mean, you know, I'm not going to click onto it, but, you know, for those that want to see it, you know, there it is, Wack 100, you know what I mean, in the birthday suit. So
I did scribble out his booty because last time they reported my Instagram, so I scribbled out the booty post.
So that came out of his own mouth, saying, you know, he don't approve of somebody doing a lawsuit, I guess that's involved in the gang culture or street life or whatever he meant by it, but he wasn't with it, and now he chose to do it. So, you know, tap into this.
As fast as he built them up, you know what I'm saying? So when I was in the hotel room, I heard Reek in my ear saying that, so that's what I did. And I wasn't gonna put it out, but the first time the nigga ever got into it, he just keep attacking my kids. And for you to call CPS, bro, that whole video just went other places that y'all find out.
And then let alone you playing with kids, you bring your kids into a situation. And that's facts.
Later when it all closed. But that's a clip just for Clubhouse to see that Mika ain't been lying. I just choose to respond when I choose to.
Well, see, one thing about this room, we don't support lies, rumors, and gossip. We always come with the receipts. So if you check the Summer Jam screen at the top, that's what we like to call it in here, you know what I mean? The Summer Jam screen. If you go ahead and check that out, you know what I mean, Mika got the receipts right there, you know what I mean? I personally, you know what I mean, you know, I'm not going to click onto it, but, you know, for those that want to see it, you know, there it is, Wack 100, you know what I mean, in the birthday suit. So
I did scribble out his booty because last time they reported my...
So as you see, she came with the facts, the receipts, and she put it on blast, so, you know, he can't cover it up. And we all know Wack Run 100 is always going to try to manipulate itself out of a situation, as far as he been able to duck so many fades and duck so many situations playing these internet freeze tag games, you know, and things are catching up. And the good part about the situation is he's starting to get exposed for the snake and the rat that he is. And majority of his own homies don't even like him. Like, you know, they reject him. They don't respect him. And it's just so much shit that been popping up on this man for him to keep pushing that line and yelling out, that's on Pyro. You know what I mean? That right there is like not even respected coming from him. You know? Especially with all the backdoor stories they got on him. Like, can't believe that he was like basically opening doors up for Suge Knight and all that, you know, in his truck driving days. And, you know, he tried to make it seem like he this big Pyro and he been doing all this and that and that and this, you know. It's really no big deal to get into all that because I already broke him down in that situation in a whole nother way, far as, going to jail. Like, that's what comes with the culture. So that's nothing. That's not an excuse. That's not a notch on your belt, and that's not a strike. It like shows that you got caught and you get out and you still conduct yourself in a way that he conducted himself. He didn't learn, you know. So it's like people get recidivism. It's repeating the same thing over and over, going back to jail, and they don't get nothing up out of it besides survival tactics. And they bring it to the streets. And they try to politic in the streets like they in jail. He walk around poking out his chest too much, and now he's being exposed. And especially the way he's being exposed, face down, A-ho up. Yeah, it's all tricky and funny games for him now. The tables done turned. And with all his tactics and motives, I always get that middleman vibe from him. He be trying to play top dog, but he's always getting some type of information and some dirt on somebody. And, he's always being the middle guy. I find that real strange. And we gonna keep up with, he got the confidential informant vibes, ways. And, that's where we gonna leave it at. And all that other stuff and putting it on Paru, that shit don't even hold no weight coming out his mouth. And that's facts. And the reality check about the situation is, we gonna keep saying the gang culture is trash. He's a product of the gang culture. And that's something that the gang culture breeded. The gang culture could be good to certain people as far as they make it through what they went through and get out and get up out of it and get away and make a way for themselves. Or, they stay stuck in the culture, and even though they want to claim that they not in it no more, they still try to involve themselves and make themselves look like a straight clown. Because if you running around here calling yourself an OG and you running around going back and forth and, arguing, calling people out over the internet, which we all know nobody's going to fight, and that's facts. Everybody can tap in, call in, link up, everybody in the culture, so it ain't that hard. With all that being said, this reaction has officially came to an end. So if you ain't hit that like or that subscribe button yet, then that's what you need to be doing. But if not, y'all already know the deal with me, man. I'm gonna bust y'all across y'all head with some knowledge every time, man, straight up. And make sure y'all hit that bell for all notifications. So when I drop these reactions right here, they pop up on your timeline like the chicken pox. Boop, 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 boop. Y'all already know the deal with me, man. Listen. Tap in.
Yo, some boy.